This next dangerous cave biome is the toxic caves. Trust me when I say that you will know when you have found it, as the air will turn green and you will most likely come across acid. This new liquid will inflict you with a new debuff called irradiated, which will stop you from healing. You may also get this debuff by putting certain items in your inventory, which are already exposed to radiation. Even drinking milk won't cure this, so you will just have to wait for the debuff to wear off. Being exposed to acid for a long time can actually start to damage you. This place is pretty difficult to traverse compared to the other cave biomes we've come across so far. Most of the toxic caves are made up of radrock and acid. Radrock is basically irradiated stone, but with acid, you must be careful not to step in it. If you wear armor, it will start to corrode it and injure you. Also, if acid flows over scrap metal, it can turn it into a rusty version of it. You may also see dotted around are some geothermal vents, spewing out gas and constantly bubbling. You will also see some industrial and atomic ruins, which may contain some valuable loot. Be careful though, as it may contain some irradiated items, and putting these in your inventory, like waste drums or uranium rods, will cause you to gain the irradiated debuff. One of the main resources you will see in the toxic caves is uranium. This can be seen as ore and can be mined to be made into shards. This new material can also be turned into uranium rods, which are a new light source when placed down. This can also be used to create more things like a block of uranium, nuclear furnace components, and a nuclear siren. Another resource that may be a bit rarer to find is sulfur. The actual sulfur blocks can't be collected and will just be destroyed if you mine it, but the clusters can and will provide you with some sulfur dust. This dust can be crafted into some food called splunky and slam. This will heal the player even if they are irradiated, which is great if you are low on health, but just can't seem to get rid of the debuff. Sulfur dust can also be used to create gunpowder, polymer plates, and a block of sulfur. As I have spoken about recently, there are geothermal vents pumping out gas, and this can actually be bottled to create radon gas. You can use this in crafting to create polymer plates and radon lamps of any colour. Cinder bricks can be found and scattered across the toxic caves, but they can also be crafted with concrete. Cinder bricks can be thrown once they are made and can break weak blocks like sulfur buds and clusters, but they can also be used to create cinder blocks. These can be made into decorative types of these blocks, like stairs, slabs, and walls. This creepy glowing-eyed mob is called the Radgil, and even though it looks pretty terrifying, it is completely passive, so it won't attack you. You can kill it if you want to, but good luck, as any of its drops will disintegrate into the toxic pools of acid. But it does only have 8 hearts of health. If you do manage to kill it on a surface that is safe, you will have a chance to gain a Radgil, which can be eaten. However, you will be irradiated if you don't cook it first. If you want to take it home, you can do so with a bucket, and it can survive in water, so it will be a great addition to an aquarium. This strange creature is the ray cat and can be seen wandering around toxic caves. This cat's exposure to the radiation has made it glow green with an almost transparent body, showing its bones. Don't fret though, as it is completely passive towards you. They do have 1 attack damage and 24 hearts, but there is no point in killing it really, as it will only provide you with bones. However, it does have other uses. You can tame the ray cat with raw radgil, and you can make it sit, follow, or wander. They are a great companion to have when travelling through the toxic caves, as they will scare any new creepers away who will try to blow you up, but we'll get onto these in a bit. Just their presence is enough to keep them at bay, but don't expect them to defend you if you are being attacked. If you have 2 of these guys tamed, you can breed them with radgils. The ray cat will absorb radiation around them to heal itself, but can also be healed with radgil if you have any. This mob is the gamma roach, and is slightly neutral. Just be careful around it because it will go for any irradiated mob. It can also attack you if you aggravate it. The best thing to do is either avoid it or kill it before it kills you, as it does have 2 attack damage but 14 hearts. The gamma roach is a smart mob because when it is attacked, it will try to flee and leave a gas of radiation behind it, but this shouldn't be a chance to relax. This is because the roach will search for other monsters, and once it does, it will pick it up and drop it off at the player for them to fight. Once they are killed, gamma roaches can drop toxic paste. This can be used to create polymer plates, radrock, and unrefined waste. Next up is this monstrosity. This creeper-like creature is known as the Nucleeper and is entombed in a metal futuristic type suit. Its only mission is to blow you up, and trust me, you don't want to be close to it when it finally does. They take a lot longer to blow up than usual creepers, but in doing so, it will start to make a nuclear siren and close its core, destroying itself and everything around it. When it does finally erupt, a nuclear explosion will appear and a good chunk of the cave will have been destroyed. If you are hit by the blast, it will do a maximum of 100 attack damage and you will likely die, but you will also be inflicted with irradiated if you don't. If you manage to kill the Nucleeper before it blows up, with its 40 hearts and 4 defense, it can drop gunpowder and a fissile core. This can be crafted with other ingredients to create a remote detonator, a ray gun, and a nuclear bomb. On to the final mob that can be found in the toxic caves, and this is the Brainiac. This terrifying mob is a mutant made of several zombies and other unknown monsters. These mobs are fast and strong, and can use its tongue as a weapon to take down its foes. They can be found carrying waste drums on their back, and it can actually heal them, or use it as a ranged attack. All of the Brainiac's attacks can inflict irradiated onto you, and when they are close enough, they will attempt to smash its target, or use its hands to snap and injure you. This guy can deal 5 attack damage, and has 40 hearts as well as 8 defense. When the Brainiac is finally killed, it can drop rotten flesh, Silent Green, which can be drunk to heal irradiated players, and a charged remnant. This remnant can be used to create as nuclear siren and nuclear furnace components. Now, you may have heard me talk about polymer plates quite a bit, so let me tell you what you can do with them. You can make them into hazmat armor, which will reduce the damage and effects of irradiation and acid. You will need to make all 4 armor pieces. This item is called the remote detonator, which is another thing that will require polymer plates to craft. This will activate any marked explosives anywhere in the world. Polymer plates can also be crafted with other items to create the ray gun. This gun will shoot a beam of radioactive energy that damages all mobs in its path really quickly, as well as irradiate them. It only deals 1 damage, but can attack 4 times as fast than a regular weapon. Uranium rods are required to give them fuel or ammo. This item is the nuclear siren. This will produce a loud sound when a nuclear explosion is imminent in the surrounding area. This is the nuclear furnace component, and you will need 8 of these to craft a nuclear furnace. You will need to create a 2x2 cube, all made up of nuclear furnace components. The use of this is that it can smelt something 5 times as fast as a blast furnace can. Uranium rods are what is used as fuel, and a single rod can smelt an entire stack of items. The only problem with using this is that it creates unrefined waste. You will need to keep an eye on this because if too much waste is stored in the nuclear furnace, it will explode. To prevent this, you can put metal barrels in the nuclear furnace, which will then turn into waste drums. Destroying these will leave the area lingering with radiation, so the best thing to do is store it for now. Yes, this is the nuclear bomb, and is one of the most dangerous items if not used carefully. Once this explodes, it will destroy loads of blocks in an area, and deal, apparently, thousands of damage, and leave the area with immense irradiation. If you activate it, but then regret doing it, you can disable it before it explodes, with shears. Radiation Vibe is earned when you enter the toxic caves. Bath Bomb is obtained when you enter acid whilst wearing armor. Rustees is earned when you place scrap metal in or next to acid. Gassed Up is obtained when you use an empty bottle on a geothermal vent. 3 eyes on every fish is obtained when you obtain a radgill in a bucket. The Raycat solution is earned when you tame a Raycat. Uranium Fever is obtained when you mine or obtain uranium ore. Smelly Situation is earned when you obtain sulfur dust. Shell Life is obtained when you eat slam, spelunky, and a green soylent. Apocalypse Proof is obtained when you feed a spelunky to a gamma roach. The Ooze is earned when you obtain toxic paste. Toxic Alloy is earned when you craft and obtain a polymer plate. The One Who Knocks is obtained when you craft all parts to the hazmat suit. The Big Red Button is earned when you set off explosives from over 100 blocks away using the remote detonator. Crisis Adverted is earned when you kill a nuclear before it explodes. Hot Rod is when you obtain a uranium rod. Brains and Brawn is earned when you defeat a Brainiac. 3.6 Roentgen is obtained when you craft 8 nuclear furnace components. Total Meltdown is earned when you use a metal barrel in a nuclear furnace whilst it's having a meltdown. Revive Me, I Have a Ray Gun is earned when you craft and obtain a ray gun. I Am Become Death is obtained when you craft a nuclear bomb. Cut the Red Wire is obtained when you defuse a nuclear bomb using shears. After surviving the toxicity of the toxic caves, we find ourselves in a very deep, dark, and pretty wet place known as the Abyssal Chasm.